Hi, I'm Allie, and in today's Better Beater episode, we are going to talk about needle selection. So we have some new thread that we are carrying and excited to use, the dragon thread, coming in 3 sizes currently, as well as some other brands also. And it comes up often, whether or not it's in our Facebook group for beading jewelry making, to our customer care experience team through email or chat, or even just people asking on live Twitch and Facebook and YouTube streams. What needle do they need to go with which threads? It can be a little tricky to navigate, especially if you are just getting started. So I thought I would do this Better Beater episode talking about some of the threads and the needles that I would suggest using with them. These are going to be needles that match up to the thread and are ideal to use for specific projects. So stay tuned as we go in depth into the different needles and what I would suggest to use with the different types of threads. So a lot of the needle selection is going to depend on the size of thread that you're using. Yes, you can use multiple needles with some of these threads or even the cord, but you want to make sure that you're not picking a needle that the eye of the needle is going to be too small. What's going to happen is if you pick a size 12 needle, for instance, and try to put it on the size 8 dragon thread, it's going to end up stripping the dragon thread and weakening it because it's going to be really hard to get it in that eye of the needle, and it's going to then scrape along the eye of the needle when you're looking at it. So the first thing to talk about kind of is needles and needle sizes. I have a Bead Tech needle pack here, which shows kind of the difference of the sizes of needle and a little indication of the size of the eye of the needle. Now, obviously this is blown up. It's not going to be the exact size of the needle, but you can see that the 12 size needle is going to have the smallest hole. Next is going to be the 11, and these are an English style needle, is going to have the next biggest hole, and then the 10 is going to have a big hole. If you have something that won't go inside the size 10, you may want to take a look at big eye needles. So we'll discuss those a little bit as well. But opening up this pack, you want to think about which size needle you want for which size thread. So the needles here are going to be organized so that the thinner needles are on the outside and the thicker are going toward the inside. If you want to, you can write the indication of that as you're using it. And you're going to be able to see that as you're working with the needles, that you will be able to tell a difference kind of in how they move and how they bend. The most flexible needles are going to be the thinnest needle. Even if you want to go into like a wildfire size 13 needle, those are short, sharp, they're really, really, really tiny. That you're going to need, say, a size 5 thread. So we have 5, 6, and 8 thread here, and then I also have the dragon cord sitting here, because for that, we are going to want a big eye needle because it's not going to fit in the needle. When I'm talking really about needles right now, we're talking about needles for thermally bonded thread or for seed bead thread. So your dragon thread, wildfire, fireline are your thermally bonded. Then you have the Miyuki thread, you have Hana thread. Those are going to be non-thermally bonded, but you're going to use that same needle or the beading needle width. Now, why use the beading needle versus a sewing needle? Because when you're looking at the needle, the eye does not go out from the needle. So this indication here is that it gets bigger, but it doesn't bulge out where the needle is. So that's an important part of the English style beading needle for that. You can see that when you look at the needle and you look right here along the line, the eye does not portray any bigger size. I keep referencing the picture because it's really hard to see the eye of the needle. Once you're looking at the needles, and I have a size 10 needle here, you can see the eye of the needle is going to be tiny. You probably can't even see. One thing when you're making your needle selection, after you pick the size that you need, you're going to go through and kind of flatten out the end of that thread, making a little bit flatter and a little bit wider, which is going to make it easier to thread inside the eye of that needle. When you're threading it too, you want to make sure that you are threading down and you're taking your needle and threading the eye or threading the needle onto the thread rather than holding the needle and thinking that you're doing the opposite. You're putting that thread inside the needle. You're actually putting the needle on the thread. That mindset will get you a better hold and easier to use. So you can see this size 5 thread went really easily into this size 10 needle. When you're looking at a size 5, you want to stick to generally looking at it a size 12 or a size 11 needle. Why not the 10? As I'm beading, look what's going to happen. It comes out super, super easily from that needle. You can use it, but just be aware that the thread may slip out that eye of a needle because it's a bigger eye, it's a bigger needle. When you're going to size 6 will fit inside a size 12 needle as well, but I usually like to work with an 11 as you go to the size 6. So think about the 12 for the size 5, the 11 is going to be for the size 6, and then the 10 is going to be for the size 8. Once you get into dragon cord rather than dragon thread, that's where we'll talk about this big eye needle having a big hole, which you can also use with Chinese knotting cord, some Eslon, and so forth. So size 5 thread, while it will fit in a 12, 11, and a 10, and it'll even fit inside a 13 if you have a smaller needle. You want to be aware that the smaller thread is going to be more flexible and used for more delicate or intricate projects. That being said, a size 12 needle is generally what you're going to want for that anyway. So size 5 thread, size 12 needle, good to go. When you start doing mixed media projects where you're not just using delicas or seed beads, you're using some multi-hold beads maybe, that's where I like the size 6 thread. And for the 6, I tend to use a 12 or an 11 size needle. When you get to the 10, again, it slips out a little bit, but it is useful. When you get to mixed media using metal beads or maybe some crystals or some gemstones with your seed beads, that's where I would use the size 8. The size 8 thread along with a size 10 needle is going to be nice because you want to make sure, again, that you're not stripping that outer coating of the thread. Whether or not you're using green, white, or gray, obviously they're thermally bonded. It's made up of a series of smaller threads and then heated, and you don't want to fray your thread, so you don't want to use a needle that's too small. If you have trouble threading the needle, you can use this big eye needle. So the big eye needle works as a large eye, if you see it there open, that you have that large opening that is started. One thing to be aware of with the big eye needles, the eye of the needle at the ends is very sharp. So if you are using it on your thread, make sure as you're doing your project, go ahead and every couple stitches, move so that the tail and the exact same piece of thread is not in that eye. So you're going to move it along as you're doing the project so it does not damage the thread. The thicker the thread, the more you will notice that impact on it from the big eye needle. When you're using something like dragon cord, Eslon, Celon, even Chinese knotting cord, you're going to need that big eye needle, or even silk cording. You're going to need that big eye needle because it will not fit inside the traditional English style needle. So that's going to be the needle that you are going to choose when you're working with something other than that thermally bonded beading thread. If you're working again with like the dragon cord like I have here and the bobbins of that, or you're working with a Chinese knotting cord, generally speaking, I just burn the ends and create my own needle, but it can be used for that purpose as well. One thing to be aware of, if you try to use the thinner cords like the dragon thread with that big eye needle, and you've already used it with a thicker cord like this dragon cord that I have here, it does stay open a little bit as you use it. So you may want to mark your needles and say specifically what they are for as you're picking and pulling them through. Anytime you're using a needle, it is a great idea when you're working with a project to not pull the needle. So I'm not pulling the needle as I work through a project because what's going to happen is it's going to damage the thread that's in that needle. I'm always pulling on my thread to tighten rather than through that needle. And then as I'm working on it project by project, I'm going to move it along that eye of the needle. And this is gray 8 dragon thread, moving it along the eye of that size 10 needle. So that way that pressure point where it's folded back does not stay on the same piece for too long. Hopefully these little needle tricks and kind of matching them up will help you to choose what you're getting. You can get the needles on their own in full packs, but if you're not sure, these mixed packs are great for that design. If you need to, you can also mark with a Sharpie the different colors of the needles, but really as you start to bend them, you'll see the flexibility will decrease as you go with a thicker needle. The idea of these Better Beader episodes, like this one on choosing a needle with the correct size of thread, is to make you a more informed and better beader. If you already know this information and want to join into it, keep in mind you can comment on the video and help out other community members that may be just getting started or have additional questions. It is great to have that interactive community, which you can also join in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. As always, hopefully you learned something in this Better Beader episode. It inspired you to create more, and you can stay tuned for our next inspirational video.